Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right. Let's get right into it. We got the wonderful SPY chart up here. That is really loud. Let's turn the volume down a bit. All right. Let's see what everybody's up to. I hope everybody's having a wonderful morning. And we'll get right into it, man. Coach Darren Fitness over 50. Good morning. Mark, good morning. What's going on, man? Dodger, good morning. Oscar, good morning. Sakib, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right. So, looks like the saga continues. Interesting stuff happening. Robert, good morning, my man. How you doing? Tony, Red Thursdays. Edgar, good morning. Tiffany, good morning, good morning. Love seeing the same early bird crew here every day. Amazing. Peter, good morning. Pete and repeat. What's up, buddy? Sakib Press plus Branzuk. Nice. Shanti, good morning. Nancy, there you are. Good morning. Kadar, hola, hola, hola. Love it, love it, love it. Vishnu, good morning. Perfect. So, as usual, guys, we'll stick around for about 5 minutes here and make sure everybody tunes in. Give them about 5 minutes buffer for them to get in here. Some people are usually sometimes a little bit late, so we'll wait for them to kind of tune in before we get started. Peter, sup? What's up, my guy? All right. Interesting stuff going on past few days in the market. Definitely can't deny that. Mackenzie, good morning. Nancy, yes. Everybody smash that like button for Ali. Much love, Nancy. All right. Got 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes and we'll get right into it. Exciting stuff going on. The bears are in full effect right now, saying, I told you the world was going to end. Been here before. Rosita, good morning. Laxman, good morning. All right, a few more minutes and we'll get kicked off here. Tabian, good morning, my man. Let's go. Got the coughs this morning. All right, 1 more minute. And then we'll get kicked off with the good old SPY. I wonder how many people are going to tune in after 8:30. It's always interesting to see where we start at and what number we end with. Anyways, guys, all right. Looks like we're at that 5-minute mark. So I'll get started here. Again, always start with the SPY, and I just want to, remind everybody, dips do happen. They've continued to happen. And whether this is going to be one of those times where we dip back down is yet to be decided, but they do happen. So don't freak out. Don't panic. Some of the tech names have came up from the bottom quite a bit as of recent, which is, I want to say they've done so with legitimate buying and, institutional buying and whatnot. But some of them are moving due to the whole the Reddit and the WSB situation. With that said, we are gapping down quite a bit, over 230 points right now. We're sitting at 417.40 in the pre-market, which puts us slightly above this 20-day moving average on the market. Okay. Now, if you guys have been following the Discord and what's the notes that I've been posting, that 419.20 was a pretty key area. All right, so here's all the levels. I put them back up here. So I'm gonna get in here. Right here, this 419.20 was a pretty significant level that maintained itself for some time, right? We had it acting as resistance prior. This is on May 26th. We had that breakout and then it acting as support on the 27th. And then we came back down, June 1st, we had it act as support. Pre-market session yesterday acted as support, and even late day yesterday it acted as support. Okay, so it was a pretty clear, significant level we had there at 419.27. The other clear resistance levels we had was the 420 and the 421. All right, this one day we popped up to the all-time highs, failed to hold it. Just there wasn't enough buying pressure at these levels, so we just came right back down to an area where we consolidated a little bit, and we finally broke that 419. Now, this don't really see any significant news behind this other than, if those significant shorts have to cover. I've said it for some time now. When you have stocks like AMC, GME, these stocks are highly shorted by big institutions. Essentially, what they need to do is they need to fund those shorts, and by doing so, they have to close other positions in bigger names like Tesla, Amazon, Spotify, etc. Right? They close their other positions, create selling pressure in the market overall, and they go in to kind of try to cover those short positions or re-add to their short positions to get better averages, and that's what this pull down is, and that's why we had a significant pull down again back in I guess it was, I can't remember, March maybe, when the whole WSB Reddit stuff happened. Anyways, based on levels alone, we lost the 419.20 area. We have supported this 417.90, 417.30. We do need to reclaim this in order to track back to 419. If we can't, and if we just turn around, curl over, we will see 415 on the downside, and then 413.92. Now, remember, there is a 416 area here on the daily that's going to act as support for us, right? This moving average right here, this 416.70 is going to act as some sort of support, which will line up essentially right here, right under that 417.90, 417.30 area. So what does that mean? I think at the open, two things can happen. We can see some buying pressure, kind of push this thing back up to 419. If we get a nice flush, then the 20 moving average will kind of be irrelevant at that point. All right, now let's go and take a look at the QQs. Gonna pop back on the daily here. So let me clean this chart. There we go. Okay, so obviously the QQs just kind of struggling to break highs. Went sideways as well. The same thing that the SPY was kind of doing. Obviously, SPY was doing this sideways action near the all-time highs. QQQ pulling this sideways action. It had clear support, and we broke that support as well. And I'll show you guys briefly here. But this 330 area seems to be an area where there's double moving averages kind of lining up. However, we got to kind of see where it's going to head to, right? So let's take a look at a closer look here. And let me pull up my lines. So look what happened, right? We had a clear channel set up in the Qs, right? We have this 332.38 area, and we have this 334.24 area. And as I've mentioned to multiple people here, and a lot of people, and I've continued to mention this, support and resistance areas are not set in stone figures, okay? They're not 100%. They're not they're not to the penny, okay? It should always be a range, right? Well, you can see right here, we popped above, but we failed to maintain. We came back down. We popped above, failed to maintain, and came back down, right? Here, we popped below, failed to maintain, and we came back up. So this is clear support at 332.30. We lost that support at 332.30. There was really nothing here, and look what we came down to. All these lines I've drawn previous to these days, guys. It's not something I put on the chart now. They're just lines of support and resistance, and the stock market always respects those levels. So we came down to this 329 area, and we are bouncing currently right now, okay? So if we do lose this level, 327 is in the works, possibly 324. However, if we do maintain this, we could pop back up to 332, which would coincidentally line up with the SPY at the 419 area. All right, that's where we stand as the market. Obviously, these are the levels we need to watch. Under 329, we see 327, 324. Maintain and hold can push up to 332, and then we'll see what it does, because it's been major resistance is now broke. Sorry, major support is now broke, so it now acts as resistance. All right. So with that said, I'm gonna pop back into the chat. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'll slowly go through the chat and answer some of your questions that you may have. Whatever the case may be, but please don't ask me questions about AMC. Where is it going? BlackBerry, where is it going? Just trade those at your own risk, please. All right, so let's see what we got going on in the chat here. Do you have a video on what sites are good to buy and sell stocks? Rosita, I'm not really sure what you mean by that question. What sites? As far as news goes, there's a couple of news websites that you can use to figure out, why the stock is moving, whether it's news related or earnings related. You can use websites like Seeking Alpha, Benzinga, Briefing. These all provide you some sort of news. All right. Peter, FWSB, and all the meme stocks. I agree with you there, but as long as people respectfully trade and understand their risk and they have a plan, then there's nothing wrong with it. Just where people get in trouble is that they just buy expecting to go to the moon and sometimes get caught on the wrong side. Good morning. Roblox day trade. Let's take a look at Roblox. Guys, is my voice okay here? I noticed somebody mentioned, can I speak louder? Let me know if my voice is okay. For Roblox, so this 98.82 area was a nice support. It came up to it yesterday, came back down. Once it broke it, it really took off, and now kind of back below it. Okay, it held it very nicely yesterday, but because of the market pull down, this is pulled down as well. When the market pulls, everything decides to pull, right? There's nothing that you can really do. It's just the market sentiment, and it pulls everything down with it, especially overnight. Now, as far as a day trade goes, if this can pop back up above 98.82, and hold those levels, you could possibly see another run up into it. But again, this is going to be solely relying on the market and what it does. All right. As far as a setup goes, I don't see much of a setup in it currently. Yesterday, the setup was the breakout of the prior highs, which gave it the run. However, today I don't see a significant setup on it for a possible day trade. Please check if FL is a good buy up at 70 and 77. Let's take a look. FL as a buy. FL, Foot Locker. I got Foot Locker at $62. I don't see it at 70. You might be talking about Canadian dollars there. But anyways, has been respecting the 20-day moving average fairly well. It's a name that's been doing fairly well despite what's been really going on in the markets. Just continuously moving up here. We have some resistance right here at around 65 and possibly 67. If you do want to trade this, you could start here, maybe even add towards the 50-day moving average, have your stops right below at 57, even 55 area if you want to be conservative about it. Once it clears the 67 area, it could really open it up because I didn't really see much on the chart as far as resistance goes back there, right? We have an open area all the way back up to the 78 if it does clear that 67, 68 area. All right, so keep an eye on that one. What do you think on Futu? Is it going to keep going down? Futu. Goddamn Futu. All right. Is it going to keep going down? I mean, it really depends. The area where it should have gone down was right here, where it was going to reject this 20 and the 50 moving average, reject this resistance area. However, it started coming out with some good news, and then it just popped it back up here. All right, today, currently, we're sitting at 139, and the pre-market needs to get back under those moving averages if this thing is going to flush any lower. Otherwise, if it maintains above this 137, 138 area, it could very easily flag here and then push up here. I did buy a put on this, and I got burnt, but I'm holding it until expiry as I put what I was willing to lose on it. However, this right here, if it flags up here, it could see a continuation back to 155 and then above that retest of 170. Let's see. DAL and PK. So DAL, obviously airline here. Again, I think airlines have been something that you guys should have started, buying about 2-3 weeks out. Look at AAL, right? What a massive move. Look at CCL, right? What a massive move. I've been talking about these airlines and how you guys need to start kind of buying these in hopes for the reopening. And we're clearly seeing that these moves are happening here. Not sure why Dell is not moving as much as the rest are. Maybe because based on the price point. However, it will get going as well, right? Currently sitting at 47.30 pre-market. Doesn't look like the market pull really affected it that much, so it's a good sign. Break over this flag that is kind of forming here over this 48. It could really push it back up. All the other airlines have already moved. This one's a little bit delayed. Not really sure why, but this should continue going as well. Tesla. So Tesla recalling cars. Excuse me, guys. Tesla recalling cars yesterday, pulling it down to that 594 level currently, fighting this 200-day moving average here. And shorts are just coming out with articles and trying to bring this price down, but I think it's got enough buyers to kind of hold it above. If it does go down towards that 573, 559 area, I will add to my long-term position. I've only added once, or not even added. I've started once here at 630, and that's the average I have in my long-term on it. When it pulls lower towards that 559, I think it even saw 547 at one point. I will add to this. Again, not a short term, nothing short term in it in Tesla. Still fighting the moving averages, and until we really clear that and get back in that channel is when you can really start looking at short term trades on Tesla. All right, let's take a look at what we got here. Who else we got? Parlan, good morning. XL Fleet has been on low for a long time. Any move up coming soon? XL Fleet just looks like it got pushed with the hype, and it lost even this support here. It had drawn at 979. came back down, acted as resistance, and now slowly getting back above these moving averages. Okay, has it bottomed out? Hard to say, but we can see that, we're slowly flatlining. We went from this aggressive move down to kind of going sideways now, right? So what happens is you have a sell-off, you have a consolidation period, and then one of two things obviously can happen. We can break out of this consolidation period, which looks like it's slowly trying to do, right? If it gets back above this pivot right here and continues higher, we can see it kind of consolidate and then move higher, right? And then you're looking at something which is the bottoming or the rounding bottom pattern that's going to form in it, right? If we do reject here, come back down, obviously the downside move is still not done, and there's going to be more, but this is a first positive in this stock currently, right? We have sideways consolidation. We came, pop, failed to make a new low, and now currently about to make, and actually we did make a new high, about to break this prior pivot, getting back above the 20 and the 50-day moving average. It's a good sign in the short term. Pop back up to this 979 area, kind of flag, form some sort of a pattern, and then we can attack this 200-day moving average. Thoughts on OSTK? OSTK had a nice run yesterday. Again, unfortunately, the market poked its head and, pulled everything back down this morning. So after such a nice, the nice breakout here, putting it into the solid gap zone, we have the stock sitting at 936, which is right around here, gapping down a little bit. It does have room, guys. There's this big area, this big hollow area with no transactions that really took place. So we could kind of gap back up to this area right here. Again, we need market to kind of start either going sideways or push in order for this to continue moving up. If the market yanks, goes lower, everything is going to pull down and some of your stops might get triggered. Up to 70 PT. Edgar, can you check Nvidia? Today is the voted for 1 to 4 split. Nvidia sitting at 665 pre-market. So I think Nvidia, I've charted Nvidia for a very long time here. Nvidia, it's been stuck in this range for a very long time, and then it finally broke it, and it's breaking it with authority and just taking a tear. So two things. It's got the split coming up. Usually before splits, it gets bought up, and then once the split happens, we kind of sell off again. So this might be the run up for the split, and it might continue moving another day or so. But again, market is pulling it down as well. So you really have to keep an eye on the market. Once the split happens, things usually tend to sell off. TLRY. This is something that's been on my... Here's the thing, guys. When you guys scan stocks every single night, you'll see certain things pop up. And I think about a week ago in Discord, I said there's a weird abnormal volume coming into stocks like SNDL, TLRY, CGC. There's weird amount of volumes coming up in these names, and they were on the top of my searches every single night. But I didn't see any specific pattern in them. However, there were always number 1 and 2 on my search list from my stock searches. Okay, they were the highest traded stocks, and there was really not a big candle to justify it. However, there was huge buying volume, huge volumes coming in on SNDL, TLRY. Okay, I mentioned this a couple of days ago or even a few weeks ago that this is happening. Take a look at TLRY. Okay, TLRY. Now it might be related to a WSB or the Reddit, whatever the case may be. Somebody knew that this was happening and they were buying at these low levels. Look at SNDL. SNDL was the areas that I was seeing significant buying volume was right here on these dips on these days right here, right? This pushed up to 140 pre-market here, right? Currently sitting at 127. Same thing with TLRY. We pushed up to 20 something in the pre-market. We pushed up to 22. Right? And here we are respecting that 1953 again. So again, you guys need to do your searches every night. Look at stocks every single night. You'll start hearing the market is essentially going to whisper to you what's really going on. When you see significant volumes in certain stocks pop up on your searches day after day after day, you'll kind of get an idea of, where things might be shifting to. And clearly, this move was essentially planned, and it's been planned for some time, and now we have this massive run up in the wheat sector. Snap, if it dips to 61, do you see a move up past previous resistance to 64? Snap. If it dips to 61, what did you say? Peter, if it dips to 61, do you see a move past the previous resistance 64? Yeah, I mean, we could see we're forming what almost looks like a cup. If we can come back down, form the handle, and break out, great. We can test 66 area right here, and then ultimately we can go back to 68. But currently, we need some sort of a flag. It's not a matter of, if it dips to 60, should I just buy the dip? That's not how it works, because what if that dip continues going down to the moving average, right? We need these areas to start showing some sort of a flag pattern, some sort of a technical pattern that we can kind of get in, have a good set risk, and then take the breakout trade and, have targets at 66 or even 69. Okay, so it needs more time to set up either the cup and the handle or a flag pattern here on top of the support. OCGN. All right, guys, so I'll take a few more names coming into 9 p.m. and then I got to head back into the room. But again, thank you guys all for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you guys. If you have questions, ask me and I will answer the next few up until 9 a.m. and then we'll get going. All right. OCGN, resistance here at 1086, currently sitting at 922 pre-market. Had a nice run yesterday. Really needs to clear that, I guess, 950, 945 area in order to get going. And if it does, and when it does, that 1086 on the daily, which is resistance, can very well be tested again. And then you're going to see some selling pressure there, right? That's when you want to look at, taking some profits and then looking for another entry, or taking some off and then letting the rest run. But if we get over, again, that 960, which is, you can see clear resistance right here as well. If we get over that 960 area, it will push us to 1086, and then we can look for another move higher above that. BLNK. So BLNK, it's coming out of this, popping out above the 20 and the 50-day moving average. Does it have room to go? It can very easily come back up to this 4120, 42 area. But again, chasing it up here is a little risky. I'm not sure if you're in, or if you're trying to get in, or what your game plan is, but it does have room to come to 4190 before rolling over here. Why do they halt pre-market? So there's no halts actually pre-market. What happens is they suspend trading pre-market based on a news that's about to come out or has come out, and they need to verify the news. But most oftentimes, actually 99% of the times, there's really no halt. There's no volatility halt, I should say. There's no volatility halt pre-market or after hours. However, there is news-related halt, which is more of a suspension to see, what's happening with the news, and that due diligence can take a few hours or even days to kind of unhalt. But there is no volatility halt in the pre-market. Let's take a look at ZEV. Looks like another EV name that's been struggling here. Let's take a look. Yeah, so IPO'd. I guess this was an IPO. I can tell by the flat line here and then a pop. This was an IPO, lost the 20 and the 50-day moving average coming down. These lines are acting as resistance right now, the 20 and the 50. Really needs to go sideways in order to break this downtrend, in order to see a higher move, but currently still under these moving averages. We need more of a sideways action. It could try to be putting in some sort of a, head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders pattern, but not the cleanest setup here on Zev. All right, guys, so looks like I've caught up with the chat as well. If you're still here, make sure you go ahead and smash the like button. I appreciate every single one of you guys. And as always, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. I do go live every Thursday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. You guys can come in, ask me questions. I'll go over it with the chart with you guys. And if you have any questions, you can always ask me in Discord, TikTok, or whatever the case may be. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you all next week.